Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. So this is now episode 11 and what we are doing straight off the bat here is we are inquiring about some players that either you guys suggested or that I came up with from scouring Foothead and things like that the other night. So these are the players I've come up with. I've got a lot of wingers and wide players as they're the sort of players I'm really looking for at the moment. And the sort of player I was looking for was someone that would be around about mid-60s, I was saying, that had potential to grow into someone that could be about 70 rated or something like that. I also see that here that Romain Sawyers, his contract is actually expiring at the end of the season, so it would be very interesting to actually get it would be very interesting if I could sign him on a pre-contract. But we do get some of the inquiries back here, guys, about all the different players that we are inquiring about at the moment, and so quite a lot of them will be pretty pricey. A lot of them were priced in the around about 100, they were all about around the million price mark, so they were pretty pricey for the players we were playing. Solly March here was a definite player that I was actually interested in, and I was swaying a bit as to how much money I would actually inquire for him about at the start. I decided to go for, I was about to go in for 500k, but I decided to drop that down to 400 and see what Brighton will actually think of that. And as you can see here, Romain Sawyers, we do actually decide to put in a bid for a pre-contract with him, because I think that he's the sort of player that will be next season into career mode. It'll be interesting to see what league we're in next year, depending on if we'll need him or not. But going into today's first game of today's episode, guys, this is the team we decided to go for. We are against Reading, and we decided to stick with this formation. And oh my god, guys, I didn't realise when I was picking the settings going into this match that we had snow on, and it was honestly so hard to play this match, simply because the Preston kit just blended in with the snow on the pitch. It's absolutely ridiculous. But in this game, guys, as you saw there, Reading do get off to the brighter start in this match. They do manage to have quite a lively start and are forcing Chris Kirkland into some action. And the same happens here in this highlight, guys. But Chris Kirkland has he's earned his way back into this team, guys. I dropped him for one of the games in last episode, but in this game, oh my god, he was absolutely saving us. Everything that Reading were throwing at us, he was just doing absolutely fantastically. And we weren't even defending badly there. We got a lot of bodies around their player, but Chris Kirkland with an absolutely fantastic save, and no one was stopping him. But then a fantastic ball over the top from Daniel Johnson, manages to go into Garner. Garner gets his head up and manages to get it into the back of the net. It was a fantastic finish in the end from Joe Garner, who had a lot of time to think about what he could do with that finish in the end. And I think he did actually have an option to square that back to Johnson, but Garner having a bit, he's really come into form so far this season late on now. And I know it's taken until January for him to start getting into this goal scoring form, but that doesn't matter. As long as he keeps it up, we'll be absolutely fine with that. And it was a fine finish as well from the number 14, Joe Garner, and I believe that's only his second of the league this season, but I've got a feeling that there's going to be a lot more to come in the following weeks, guys. So we do actually then get a chance with Daniel Johnson, manages to get a nice little shift past his player, but the goalkeeper on this occasion manages to make a good save that time. And Johnson definitely, he's massively stepped up. Ever since I've been playing this 4-4-1-1 formation, playing Johnson just in behind the striker, he has been absolutely instrumental for us. But then we do actually manage to win a penalty just before half time as well. We really couldn't have won a penalty at a better time than this, but as you can see here, their player definitely did trip Joe Garner inside the box. Garner goes down like a sack of spuds, and we do manage to get the penalty just before half time. And there was only one person I could give this to. I know it said Owen Doyle was going to take it there, but there was no chance I was giving it to Owen Doyle. It had to be Joe Garner, the man from the penalty spot, and who could capitalise on his first goal that I got. And could he? Of course he could. Straight down the middle, Joe Garner with his second of today, and he really has hit some nice goal scoring form just at the right point of the season as well. When we were lacking quite a few goals in the previous episodes, Joe Garner now has been the spearhead, who has just been the driving force in our last couple of matches. Ever since that Stoke match, since he scored those two absolute wonder goals. If you've not seen last episode, guys, definitely go check it out, because Joe Garner scored two absolute worldies. So if you've not seen that, definitely go check it out. But despite us having the 2-0 lead, Reading were still putting the pressure on us. Of course, we were the away side, they were the home team, so of course they were the favourites to win this, but Chris Kirkland was still keeping us in it with some absolutely magnificent saves in this match. But eventually, after all the pressure, we did actually crack. A nice build-up from Reading here, manages in the end they managed to capitalise on it, and it is made 2-1. It was a bit disappointing as well in the way that we conceded this goal, because Chris Kirkland, who had been so excellent today, out of any match he's played this season, he has deserved a clean sheet from this match. And he actually did manage to get a boot to it. He just couldn't keep it out at the end, which was a bit disappointing. But still, we were persisting with our chances. And in the end, it was actually Stevie May who got a very good chance at the end to wrap it up and to make it 3-1. And a really excellent chance there for Stevie May, but he just can't manage to get into the back of the net. He has actually gone up to 70 rated, but is still struggling for form at the moment. But at the end of it, we do actually manage to hold on to the 2-1 win, which is all good indeed. So a 2-1 win away at Reading would be a massive result, as they were just above us in the shape-up of things. But as you can see, guys, our treat basically for beating Stoke last episode in the FA Cup will be a home match against Bournemouth. And after that, we have a game against Burnley, which will be next episode, guys. So if you remember, only a couple of episodes ago we played Burnley. We got absolutely annihilated at their ground. We'll be looking for a bit of revenge in next episode, guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. But as you can see here, guys, what we are doing before we go into the Bournemouth game, we are still going back and forth with a lot of emails. We're juggling around with a lot of players at the moment, but one player I'm definitely interested in is this guy right here, Jamie Walker. He's got stacks of potential I hear. He's only 22, and I believe he's around about 66 rated at this point in time, so that will he'll be a definite asset to the squad if we do actually manage to get him in the end. He's a very good player that we will be able to add. I'm also haggling with Brighton at the moment with Solly March, but the realization is at the moment is that we're probably only going to be able to buy one of these wingers. We're not going to be able to go out and buy more than one, but hopefully in the next transfer window next season, depending on what league we are in, we will get a massive upgrade to our transfer budget, because that's what I'm really hoping for. And obviously next season we'll be able to do the pre-season tournaments, which will lead to more money as well, so that will only be a good thing. But in the end, what I decided to do for this Jamie Walker deal, I decided that going with money isn't really getting me anywhere, so what I decided to do, I decided to throw in Jamie Jones into the equation, just to sweeten the deal a bit. We're not using him at the moment, so I think that will be a good way to get him off the books and off the wages, and then get Jamie Walker, a player that we really need at the moment, into the squad. And as you can see, in the end they did accept that deal, and this was the contract I did offer him. I thought that he would accept that, and you'll see if they do actually accept that in a minute. But before we do actually go into any of that, guys, we do of course have the match against Bournemouth. So what I decided to do for the Bournemouth match is I decided to do exactly the same what I did against the Stoke match, and I decided to go for a few fringe players. I decided to throw in Brownhill there, and the winger we actually got on loan from Chelsea, who I've not used so far this season. But in this match, Bournemouth were definitely the team on top in this game. They were playing a very strong team in this match, and they were just absolutely annihilating us, basically. As you can see there, an opening chance for them, they just put that one wide in the end, and despite that, they just kept persisting on the pressure, especially in the first half, and they were holding on to the ball for a long time, but they just couldn't manage to break through. In the end, as you can see there, it's another good chance there, and their player just puts it over the bar. It really was a well-worked move that time, a ball over the top. Their player managed to get it down. Actually, we had Huntington as the captain, as you can see there, but we did have our chances in this match going into the second half. Brownhill, with a bit of a speculative effort, manages to force their keeper into a bit of he's a bit uncomfortable, but in the end he's pretty safe with handling that. But in the end, it was such a heartbreak thing to do, but they did manage to concede again, and it was so frustrating because Kirkland yet again have played really well in this game today, and in the end he just couldn't manage to get enough onto it, and that meant that they would take the lead. All their players pile on because we defended so well in this game. We've really had minimalised them to as few chances as possible, but in the end, in the 80th minute, they managed to break through a drilled ball across the box, and it really was an unfortunate goal to concede because Kirkland really did do well there, and I think it was Wilson in the end who did get the final touch on it, and like I said, it was just unfortunate. As you can see there, Reeder Johnson just couldn't get to it on the line, and it was just a bit unfortunate. We couldn't do anything about that in the end. And in the end, guys, that was actually how that match did finish. A bit unfortunate for us. We did lose that match, and that did mean that we would be out of the FA Cup now, guys. So a bit disappointing. I would have liked to get a big Premier League team away, but obviously that's not going to happen. So anyway, that was how that match finished, and we did actually manage to get this Jamie Walker deal accepted in the end. He has accepted his contract, which means Jamie Jones has now left the club, and we have signed Jamie Walker. So as you can see, he is 66 rated. And for a 22-year-old, I'm thinking that for the time being, I will probably get him on the training at the moment. I'll individually train him for the time being, and hopefully I'll be able to get him to grow. But one thing I really did like about him is he can play left mid, right mid, or cam. He's a very diverse player, and I think that he'll fit straight into the team. So for the time being, we're going to play him on the left. What I also decided to do, I also decided to offer Greg Cunningham a new contract, as he did ask for one last episode, but I didn't actually get around to doing it. So that's what we're doing for that, guys. And as you can see, in the end, Greg Cunningham does accept that contract, so it is all good in the end. So to wrap up this episode, guys, as you can see, we are currently 5th in the table, and just above us are Burnley. And next episode, guys, we have a massive playoff local derby against Burnley. So make sure you don't miss that, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you do leave a like. Check out all the links in the description down below, especially my second channel. And I will see you all in the next one.